Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I am talking to you about what everybody's been talking about for a week now. A week ago I made the video that there were allegations that Mobile Fidelity had a digital link in their chain. And sure enough, it is true. Their records that they've been putting out recently have a digital source involved, and we didn't expect that. I know I didn't. I thought every single record they ever put out was pure analog, and I was wrong. So I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of an experiment in this video. I am going to be showing you my top 3 highest selling for the money one steps and the top 10 Mobile Fidelity records in my collection that are selling for the most money. And here in a couple of months, I'm going to go back and make this same video again. I want to know if Mobile Fidelity is truly taking a hit on their reputation. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. Everything you do helps my channel to grow. So let's get into it. First off, thank you to Mike from the In-Groove for going out there, setting the record straight. He's taken a lot of hits for maybe not being as hard as he should have been when it comes to the questioning, when it comes to Mobile Fidelity, but I think he hit the right note. If he had come out and swinging really, really hard, they might have shut down and not told us the truth. He got the truth out of them, that there is a digital source when it comes to their records that they've been putting out as of late. So I think he hit the right note. He was friendly, he was warm, and he got the truth out. That's what really matters. Now we are informed and we can make informed decisions. So I'm sad to report, though, that here in the vinyl community, this whole Mobile Fidelity thing has kind of split us apart into 2 different camps, and I really don't like that. We've got people in one camp saying, who cares? It sounds great. If you like the sound, who cares? And then we've got other people who maybe like to collect and take joy in having pure analog records. And we all thought that they were following a pure analog process when it comes to putting out records. So they've been putting down money for records they thought were analog, and they find out there's a digital source. So I get it. You know, I'll be honest, here's my take on it. I love Mobile Fidelity records. I'm going to get over this really, really fast, because some of the best sounding records, I'm going to put the Cars right behind me here. I love those records, and I think they sound phenomenal. Whatever the sourcing, whatever they had to do, I love those records, and I think they sound great. So even though I'm mad at them for not being forthcoming with the truth, in the end, I still love their records, and I'm not going to stop buying them. And I am just so grateful and happy. Van Halen is my favorite band of all time. And a dream of mine was for Analog Productions or Mobile Fidelity to get a hold of their discography, and they're doing it. It's a dream come true for a Van Halen fan like me. So I'm prejudiced, you guys. I love Mobile Fidelity. I love Analog Productions. I think they're fantastic labels. They're my favorites. And so I'm gonna be a little more forgiving than some of you are. I respect the people that are furious and are canceling their new one steps that they have on pre-order. I get it. We have been deceived in some ways. And then there's other people who are a little more flippant, saying, get over it. Get over it. You know what? I agree with both sides. I think the sound quality matters the most, but I get the people who were thinking they were getting analog records, and they weren't. They feel deceived. So I get it. I get both sides. Now, what I want to do here for this video, first of all, let's just respect how we feel. Let's respect both sides. Let's not snicker at each other or be mad. Let's just accept the fact that, okay, we didn't have all of the facts, and some of us are going to make one decision and others are going to make the other decision. And let's just respect the fact that we're going to disagree. We didn't need any more disagreements in this country, especially when I'm talking about the United States. We didn't need any more separation than we are right now, but that's what it is. Let's come together on this. We can come together as record collectors and agree that, okay, we don't see things eye to eye, but in the end, we're all vinyl collectors. We love each other, and let's just not argue over this. Let's make our own personal decisions and move on. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So in the meantime, I want to show you some of the best sounding and highest priced Mobile Fidelity records that are in my collection. I have nearly 100 titles from Mobile Fidelity in my collection. And so to say I'm a fan is to put it mildly. I'm going to show you my top 3 one-steps, and I think the one-steps might be hit the hardest when it comes to what's been going on. But these records are incredible, and I'm actually shocked with what's going on with these one-steps, because I expected, not just the one-steps, but with these other records, I expected something different than what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get started. At number 1, this is the most expensive in the secondary market one-step that I own. It is Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. This was a wonderful gift given to me from a terrific friend of mine, Mike from Nebraska, who is so incredible, and his collection is to die for. He gave this to me. He had an extra copy and just wanted to send it my way. So this record last sold for $240 3 days ago. On average, it sells for $290. Is it because these one-steps and Mobile Fidelity has come into question lately? Or is it because of the economy overall with the United States and around the world? I don't know. But in a couple of months, I'm going to revisit these prices. I think it will give a little more clarity to whether Mobile Fidelity's reputation is taking a hit or if it's just the overall economy. So this one is an incredible record, and I really enjoy it. Not everybody thinks this one is fantastic. I personally really like it. Here is my second highest priced one-step that I own. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. It last sold 3 days ago for $195. On average, it sells for $258. So maybe this is taking a hit. I don't know. I know there's also another wonderful version of it cut by Kevin Gray that's come out. I think it's the 50th anniversary version. I have both. I enjoy both. I think they both sound fantastic. So I don't have one that I can point to and say is better than the other. I just know that the one cut by Kevin Gray, the 50th anniversary record, is cheaper, but I really like this one. So and also, there is something to be said. If you have a favorite record, something that you think's wonderful, the beautiful packaging here, in a way, yeah, you're paying a little bit more for the beautiful packaging. It's a celebration of that record. And I personally like these special boxes and fancy stuff. And I know not everybody, and I'm looking at you, Norman Maslow, that you don't agree. They take up space. Yes, they do. But I really like them. And when it comes to a very special record in the collection, I like having a big, beautiful box like that. It celebrates that record. So at number 3, this is the one I thought we were kind of going down, that Mobile Fidelity's going downhill. Well, this record proves differently. This is Mingus A Hum by Charles Mingus. This is another one-step that's come out, and it, on average, sells for $250, and it recently sold for $250. So, we talk about how the other ones are going for cheaper money, but this one's going for about the same. And I do think some one-steps are held to a higher prestige. people think they're better, and I think this is one of them. This is one of those records in the one step collection that people think is truly a hit out of the park, just a home run. So this one is retaining its value. We're going to visit those 3 one steps here in a couple of months because I do want to know if these one steps hold the value or if Mobile Fidelity's reputation takes a hit. So now I'm going to go into my top 10 most expensive Mobile Fidelity releases. And I had a hard time. I had to make a decision here. Do I leave out the old Mobile Fidelity titles? I'm talking about the ones from the 80s that we know are pure analog, and just put in the newer releases, or do I include all? And after thinking about it, I decided let's include them all. I want to know if the Mobile Fidelity label in general takes a hit. You know, I know these newer releases that are now in question it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And there are some of those in this pile. But it's also going to be interesting to know if Mobile Fidelity's brand in general takes a hit. So I went ahead and included some of the records that were released a long time ago when they were truly pure analog back in the 80s, late 70s. So first off, also, in defense of Mobile Fidelity, I'm just going to point this one out. I have the 1982 Supertramp record that is pure analog, along with the 2018 Supertramp release. This Supertramp 2018 release kicks rear end over this one from 1982. So yes, we now think or are highly suspicious that this has a digital little link to the chain in it, but it still sounds fantastic and it beats the original master recording. So I just want to put that one out there. That's not in these top 10. That's not in the top 10 of my most valuable records. But I had both of them, so I thought it would be interesting to compare. So I'm going to leave that at that. Let's go ahead and move on to number 10, the Freewheeling Bob Dylan. What an incredible record. This sounds fantastic. And I have actually been on record as saying if you have that Bob Dylan mono box set, you're getting a superior product. This is fantastic. That version that is in that box set is fantastic too, and it's less expensive. And it's probably going to be reissued, where these, I believe, Mobile Fidelity's done with the run. So this is at number 10, and Freewheeling last sold for $250, and on average it sells for $175. So, okay, that is shocking to me. This last sold on July 12th, before this whole controversy or brouhaha came about. But you know what? We're in really crazy times where we might even be heading for a recession. The fact that people are spending even more on vinyl right now floored me. So the average is $175, but this last sold for $250. And like Mobile Fidelity said, though, the proof is in the pudding. This record does sound fantastic. So does the Bob Dylan pure analog mono box set. It's incredible too. And it's 33 RPM where this is a 45 RPM. So you think about it and you decide which way you would want to go. And number 9 is an oldie but a goodie, Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles. And this one sold 6 days ago for $250, when on average it sells for $170. Wow. That is an increase that someone paid that I'm absolutely shocked in this day and time. Now, I'm not shocked that this one is in my top 10. It is the Beatles. It is Sgt. Pepper, probably one of the most collectible albums ever. Some people collect every single pressing they can get their hands on. So, of course, they're wanting this original master recording one. This one was from the 80s. This is not one in controversy. It is a pure analog record. As far as we know, that Mobile Fidelity actually did get the analog tapes, the original masters for these Beatles records back in the day. So at number 9, a very expensive record now, average $170, last sold for $250. This one is a newer one. It is Eat a Peach by the Allman Brothers. And there is an older version of it, like I just showed you with Supertramp. The older version, I think, has like a blue original master recording strip on it. I don't have that one. This one last sold on June 17th for $250. And this one on average sells for $175. This is a 2018 version of it. Sounds incredible. I've always been very happy with it. Does it have a digital step in it? It's very likely it does. They have not come forward and named every single title that is digital versus pure analog, so we don't really know yet at this point. But I'm actually just really shocked that these records are still going up in value right now. I understood back when we were in the pandemic. I know here in the United States, a lot of people were getting surplus money, not surplus money, but stimulus checks. A lot of people were paying more money for these records because they had a little extra money to spend. So it's really shocking that these records are actually going up in value as of right now. So another one at number, that was Eat a Peach at number 8. This is number 7, and this is Bob Dylan's Desire. And I personally bought this one fairly recently. It is the most expensive record I've ever bought. And I would say I would do it all over again. I think this record is really great. This is one in question. Bob Dylan and the whole discography that Mobile Fidelity put out is now in question. Are they analog, pure analog, or do they have a digital chain? I think it's safe to say they probably have a little bit of a digital chain in here. No, so this last sold 3 days ago for $250. And on average, it sells for $189. I paid $190 for it, so I paid $1 more than average. It was still sealed. And I have had, and I still have an original of this. And I used to have a music on vinyl release of this. This one's a 45 RPM and it blows the others away. This is definitely the definitive version of Desire, unless you have the super vinyl version, which sells for even more. So I'm very happy with this purchase. It sounds fantastic. Is there digitally sourcing? Probably. Now that we know the truth, there's probably digital sourcing in that one, but I really like it. So now we're moving on to number 6. Another 80s version from the Beatles of Rubber Soul. Now this one last sold 3 days ago for $329. The average price is $184. Okay, so did one person 3 days ago come out and buy all of these crazy records at these crazy prices? I don't know, maybe, but they continue to go up in value. And 3 days ago, we knew the truth. Unless somebody just doesn't watch vinyl videos and they're not aware and they just went on Discogs and went on a huge shopping spree, or this is all just a coincidence, I have no idea. This is a really good sounding one. I really like it. And I'm happy to have it in the collection. You know, I'm really stunned that it last sold for $329. That seems very, very high. But I would say on average, this is one of the lower end $180 Beatles records. Very, very cool to have in the collection. So that one was a shocker. This one is at number 5. I don't think this is shocking at all. Most people love David Bowie, and for a lot of people, this is their favorite. This is Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. The Rise and Fall, I should say. What a great record. One of my favorites. And I got a still on this record. I shared the story about that in an earlier video. What a tremendous record. My favorite from David Bowie. Now, this one recently sold on July 5th for $245. On average, it sells for $215. I love this one. So if you are a Mobile Fidelity collector, no doubt you want this one in the collection. It's one of the classics. It's great. There's a 2016 reissue that I think sounds very good too. So you don't have to necessarily have this particular version of it to have a great sounding version. but this is a collectible one at this time. Be curious to see if some of these older versions take a huge hit on the Mobile Fidelity and their reputation and what's been going on lately. Again, back to back David Bowie. This is at number 4. This is Let's Dance. I'm a little surprised that Let's Dance sells for more than Ziggy Stardust, but maybe this one's a little harder to find. I have never seen another Mobile Fidelity record that has this gold stamp on it saying demonstration only, not for sale. So I would say maybe some record stores that sell record equipment or stereo equipment got this record sent to them to test out on the stereo equipment. That's what I think happened. It's a cool version of it. Now, this one last sold on June 12th for $300. The average, it sells for $211. I paid a pretty penny for this one. I didn't pay as much as what the average goes for, but I bought it a couple of years ago, so a lot has changed since then. Great sounding record, and I highly recommend that one. Really love it. At number 3, we are back to more of the recent records. And we know for a fact now, Mobile Fidelity has confirmed that the Miles Davis reissues were all touched with a digital sourcing, and yet they sound fantastic. And In a Silent Way is probably my favorite jazz record. It's right up there with a Barney Whelan title. I love this record so much, and this sounds fantastic. I don't care what they did digitally. This sounds incredible. It last sold on July 16th for $285. The average is $225. I'm so glad I ordered it while it was still in stock, because I would really be bummed to pay over $200 for this record, especially with what we know now. But you know what? It's just a great title. And if they had a little digital tinkering in there, it made it sound fantastic. I know you analog purists don't want to hear that. And we can still be friends and disagree, okay? We can. This is a great title. No matter what they did to it, it's fantastic. At number 2, Hotel California by the Eagles. And this one is probably one of those that is going to be talked about a lot, because there's a one-step coming out by Mobile Fidelity. Now, this is the old 1984 version, and back 3 days ago, this record sold for $800. What? Why? I don't get that at all. $800? Maybe it's still sealed. Maybe it was Glenn Frey or Don Henley's original copy. That's the only way to justify paying $800 for this record, and yet someone did it. Someone has more money than I do, because that's just insane. Like I said, this record on average sells for $250. This is a pure analog version of it. I am going to be curious about how the one step of Hotel California sounds. I do have it on pre-order. I have the long run on pre-order. I have Miles Davis records on pre-order. I have all of the Van Halen one steps on pre-order, and I'm not canceling them. Now, if I start getting records and one steps that are extremely disappointing, I may put the brakes on all of them. But until I'm disappointed with one of the releases, I'm going to keep buying them because I'm really happy with them. So that is at number 2, Hotel California. And that was a gift given to me by a wonderful friend of mine, Brian from Nashville. So thank you so much, Brian. That was an incredible gift. At number 1 is a record that I think is highly collectible, and I really like this version of it. These come under fire quite a bit. At number 1, the most expensive Mobile Fidelity record that I own, the Beatles' Revolver original master recording. So this, on July 11th of 2022, that's when I'm making this video, it sold for $225. And it is a fantastic record. That is about the average of what people are paying for it. And I think this one, a lot of the people who collect Mobile Fidelity really put down these 80s versions of the Beatles records. I think Revolver stands out, and I think it sounds fantastic. I love this pressing. It's my favorite go-to record. And I still don't know, this was a VCLT given to me, and I still don't know who sent it because they sent it to me at Christmas time from Santa Claus from the North Pole. I never found out who gave me this incredible record. I still want to know. But this is my um, highest collectible when it comes to Mobile Fidelity records. They're regular records, and it is a brilliant record. So I'm going to revisit this whole list in a couple of months and see if Mobile Fidelity has taken a hit, if their reputation in whole has taken a hit. I'll be honest, I have just about forgiven them already. Yes, they have now let us know that there is a digital link in what they're doing, a digital sourcing. But I still think the records sound fantastic. I love the titles they're putting out. I love the history of Mobile Fidelity, and I just love everything about them. So, yeah, I'm disappointed. They deceived us. No doubt about it. They deceived us. But in the end, I still love the records. I still love the way they sound. And I'm not an analog purist. Yes, I like analog records, and I have been on record as saying I prefer them. But when you can take digital files and make them sound this good, I'm also a fan of that. So that is my video for this week. Let me know what you think, and please tune in. I will have some details about this experiment coming up in a future video. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.